There's the FANG 2.0 theme that we've discussed already. One of those factors is agriculture in the FANG. You own a name called Bunge. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is a company that touches millions of people a day, but I think most people don't know who they are. Can you give us a little background on that name and why you own that?
Sure, and it's actually another good example of monitoring insider behavior. I was just going through Form 4 filings one morning, and I saw a $10 million purchase by the new CEO of Bunge, Greg Heckman. And I was intrigued by that because you don't see a brand new CEO write a check for $10 million very often. So I called the company, the IR department. It actually took 3 phone calls for me to get a call back. And finally, they returned my phone call. And I said, well, my first question is, how do you pronounce the company? Is it Bunge or is it? And he says, no, it's Bunge, we think. And so we cleared that up. But then I said, I see this purchase by Heckman of $10 million. I'm assuming that was a stock grant given to the new CEO. And he said, well, you're half right. He did get a $10 million grant, but he also wrote a check for $10 million. I said, of his own money. So then I dig into his background, longtime ConAgra executive. Bunge had been mismanaged for years. There are 4 big ag companies in the world that control the volume and movement of wheat and soy and corn worldwide. 2 are publicly held and 2 are privately held. The privately held companies are Cargill and Dreyfus. The 2 publicly held companies are Archer, Daniel Midland, and Bunge. Bunge had been the worst managed of all those companies. And I think Heckman knew that. Being a ConAgra executive, he watched Bunge from afar, saw the mismanagement, saw the opportunity. He comes in there, the first thing he did, they were based in New York. And he asked the question, why is an ag company based in New York? He immediately moved headquarters to St. Louis in the middle of America's breadbasket. And that right there told me a lot about this guy means business. And he's made a series of decisions since then that are just, he's really turned the company around, and they're going to be very, very formidable going forward. So, but the industry just fascinated. The fact that these 4 companies controlled worldwide ag movement fascinated me. But full of opportunity. If you look at the movement of soybeans and soybean oil and corn oil, and it's big business, small margins, but obviously with a growing world population and an increasingly wealthier population where people are expanding their diet and eating more and better and healthy foods. I think we'll own Bunge for a long time.